So every phase we bias a movement or a set of movements for aerobic pitch work and anaerobic pitch work. So for phase 8, we get a little ahead, so it can be confusing sometimes. For phase 8, we have an anaerobic ski test. And basically what we're trying to find out is we'll sit in the office and him and Han go back and forth about how many calories someone should be able to do in any given amount of time. So basically we create a test, but then it works a lot better when we come out here and have a bunch of different people do it within the gym. So he's gonna test it out, and we do have some numbers written down here within windows, but they don't mean all that much yet until he goes through it and sort of feels it out. And we've done this with a few female athletes so far. So Sherab's gonna test it. And then you get to watch Hunter, Caroline, and I run back and forth for maybe 10 minutes for me and 40 minutes for Hunter, something like that.
Jeez, so yeah, have fun, Hunter.
The aerobic test is a checkpoint system as well, but it's shuttles. So 100 meters out, 100 meters back, and you go until you can't reach the checkpoints.
Batteries are dead. I can't do it, guys. Sorry. Shucks. BRB. I am worried. I know this is gonna hurt. Because I've done it before. Slightly different context. We did a 100 cal ski for time, and I think it took just under 4, which puts me right within striking distance of that.
Of the 108.
Which means I'll be skiing for 4 uncomfortable minutes.
No, you're skiing for 5, so we get right data.
Oh. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I asked you that. You said nah. Right? Negative. Where'd I fail? 3.5?
Yeah. 1 cal. But that's not the actual test. So no, you didn't. Basically, we know that he's like on the low end of the high end. So he could ski with someone that goes to the CrossFit Games that's not great at skiing. Probably even a little bit better. It's actually a compliment.
What a nice compliment.
That's a compliment. I wouldn't, after seeing those 1Ks, I don't know.
You wouldn't come in last at a ski-only event at the CrossFit Games.
Exactly. Yes, that's a compliment. It's just worded to keep him, down a peg a little bit. We know that if he's at that point, we have to make sure that, especially within that anaerobic test, if we think the best of the best are going for 5 minutes, we need to get at least that 1K row type time domain in for everyone. And then they can try and get better in that retest. So we're gonna basically take some of the numbers that we had at the beginning and knock them down to make sure enough people get to that 3.5 minute mark, or really kind of push to try and get there. He was 1 cal away from making it to the 3.5 minute mark.
I think it's somewhere around 27, 28 cals a minute is that number. We said 30 originally, with the 150 being the final mark, like we were joking earlier on.
Right, but so one thing that's important when we're doing this, especially if you follow the Misfit Athletics blog is we don't want you to be able to finish. We don't want someone to just be like, oh, I got to 150, we're good to go there. That's for a couple of reasons. One, because we want to like dangle the carrot and have something that people can actually shoot for, but also the sport progresses pretty rapidly. So we want to make sure that we write a test that if we want to be able to go back and reuse it in a year or two, it's not easy for anyone. So can Roman Kranikov hold 30 cals a minute for 5 minutes? Maybe.
40 minutes.
Maybe. You know, Jason Khalifa might be able to finish this in his heyday. That kind of
Imam,
thing, so.
150.
Jason Khalifa, Imam, 30 minutes, 30 cal ski.
Yeah, easy.
Because I had the 100-calorie test in my back pocket, something I did about a year ago, I had a rough idea of how hard I could go. I think I started a little too hot. I was at like 1800 to begin with, and then I quickly fell into like, after like a minute, low 16s, high 15s. And then for most of the test, it was right around 1400 cals an hour. And then I knew the number at 108 being like the 4-minute mark, like what you're supposed to get to. So I was 8 cals away at that point. I think I hit 100 right at 4 minutes. So I think if I'd gone a little bit easier at the start, I could have been closer to that 108, but again, it's not the number we're using. It was just kind of the metric I had. And then when there was like 40 seconds left, Hunter was, get 125, and I was 1 away, but that's the way she goes. So get good at this thing. It takes a lot of practice to get better at this thing, but in terms of like the stimulus it provides, so many people don't use it, and they really ought to. It's just such a great piece of equipment, and for me, it's embrace the pain. And a lot of people don't like this time domain. You want to avoid it at all costs. It's where you get better. So hit it hard, guys.
If you want people to get cut off there, a 4-minute 100
I feel like
cal
get
ski
everybody
is
a
pretty
1K,
good.
right?
Yeah.
You want everyone to get this.
Yes. Yeah, so I mean this, I know this is kind of lame.
I think you should.
It's a little soft.
I'm aware. So is that.
But he wants. He
Give
wants
him
to
like
get-
30.
One?
Is this gonna get modified for hatchet?
Yeah. Yep.
Then like for a hatchet athlete, like
All right.
35. Like that's a great checkpoint. Like if you're teetering on the first checkpoint, like interesting.
Yeah, you're in the wrong program.
Yeah.
So we just hatchetized the test. So we are looking at, and Sherb can make a little handy dandy board, but for MFT, as of right now, pre-testing of the test, you have to do 8 200-meter shuttles before 9 minutes, 16 before 16 minutes, 24 before 22 minutes, 32 before 28 minutes, and 40 before 33. And basically what we did is you are going from a 9-minute pace to an 8-minute pace to a 7:30 pace, but just like any of our other tests, you're banking reps. So like, don't run at a 9 and then try to run at an 8. Like if you can run, to be able to finish this whole test, you have to be able to run at a 6:38 pace for 8K, which is pretty damn good.
It's a good chunk of running.
Yeah.
Norman will crush this.
Yeah. Yeah, there are quite a few athletes I know that will crush this. If you're a really good runner, this isn't necessarily the test we're looking for you to work at. Maybe you're best suited for the skier test. This to me is hey, I want to get better at running, and I want to understand that in order to be a better runner, I have to start at a pace that's reasonable and kind of try to work backwards, because a lot of people, like CrossFitters in general, start so hot they just fall apart. So like they would go do this 8K, and the first 3K would be done at like a 7-minute mile pace, and the next 5K would be done at like an 8.5. So it's like not the training we're looking for. You learn how to use your aerobic engine correctly. So kind of start at a more modest pace and work that way.
I thought 100. Oh wait, where are these? I thought 100 was from basically the end of the building to like across, like just almost across the road.
Those are our start line. The turnaround is the Big Pro pavement line.
All right, well.
Guess I'll dump them for this. Get the people what they want.
You guys have countdowns?
No.
You do, right?
Yeah, but they just
Yours comes in? Fancy.
When I say 3, 2, 1, go, you hit the button on go,
okay.
and then we'll have a countdown for you. You
Okay,
ignore
so
the
it's
first
six,
part.
countdown.
Well, there's a go in there too, so it might be 7.
It's 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah.
3,
go,
2,
yes.
1. Okay.
3, 2, 1. 3, 2. I don't want to run that fast.
That was total shuttles.
That's it. It is. Hunter, you're good, bro.
Okay.
That was the most annoying 7K. But I mean, that was for sure faster than what I would have held just going straight, I think.
You're cruising. I had to, man, it took me almost 1.5 miles or 2 miles to get over it. One thing that was nice is it wasn't that hard to make up time. Like
No.
when I'd
I
say
think I
that I
had,
had like a round like above 9 minutes, I didn't feel like I had to try that much harder to get back to like an 8:30.
Nope, good data. I mean, I think you guys all, I mean, Hunter started a little bit fast, but you gotta like bank early on, so it's tough that you gotta teeter the line between overextending yourself early and being able to have a chance to get deep into this versus like just frying out in the first, whatever, 2 miles worth of running. So
Yeah.
you guys seem like you had a pretty consistent pace. I mean, I'm interested to see how the splits change positively
Right.
across the whole thing, but overall, no, some good data.
Right.
I mean, the name's perfect for the
So-
test. Groundhog Day is a perfect name for this. Just back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, the back and forth at the beginning was really annoying, and then it became a source of like, I know
Entertainment?
exactly how. You got into a trance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't talk super eloquently at the moment, but it's really important for us to know, like, we have sort of the 3 levels right here in front of you. You know, would finish middle of the pack in an affiliate class. Hunter would finish, you know, high end of the pack in the hatchet class, and Caroline's trying to get her butt to the CrossFit Games. So it's good to have the people here get a good test in, and fitness with friends is always nice too. So phase 8, let's go.